diminish any of that, but it's a lot moving forward on the right things. And it's a good way to start to close ARPA out and say goodbye to this tremendous program. And I want to add this again. It took a willing Congress, or at least some in Congress, it took a willing president to sign that into law and to send that money to states and local governments. And to that tune, today alone, $444,000 will take care of people who need transportation in Ellisville, people that will go to Hoosier Hills Food Bank to get food, neighbors, not someone else. These are our neighbors who need transportation, food. And someone will take a Bloomington Transit route down 17th to Vernal Pike, and they'll get to their job and they'll get to whatever they need to get to in their lives, and they'll be supported because all those things happen. And I just want to, we need to remember that, honor that as we say goodbye to these as this goes. So anyway, I'll stop talking. I've talked too much. But counselors, I'll open it up to your comments or questions. Councilor McKim.
Yes, I completely agree. This is huge. I want to remind everybody, of course, that this is, or the public, that this is really, this is only for 2025. But one of the reasons why I'm so enthusiastic about this is that I do think we have a funding source for continuing the service if it winds up working out and is useful and we can make it useful. We have the economic development lit, and I think that is a perfect use of the ED lit. I know that's a future decision, but I just want to make it clear we're not just funding 1 year with no possible idea of how to continue it in the future.
Truly. Councilor Iverson.
I've talked about this earlier tonight. I think it's just a great idea. Also, Hoosier Hills Food Bank and food is just so needed. My question is, should this pass, what would be the balance of ARPA funds that we would need to appropriate by the end of the year?
Sure. Great question. Right now, we have around $92,000 unobligated. However, that amount is going to change slightly. Some programs are still being wrapped up. So the next item we're actually deappropriating. There's going to be probably another deappropriation, and then we'll be able to have that final figure to you and move forward with the other plans that are not implemented today.
Okay.
I would just note that where it says ARPA Hoosier Hills Food Bank food, I believe that's also going towards a generator.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. And I have
2 generators.
Yes, it's still food support, obviously, because the generators are to keep the food refrigerated. So
they preserve food. And we know in June, 2 years, Junes in a row, we've been hit by mighty powerful storms, and they have affected those things. So yeah. Other comments or questions? One thing I just want to express, I received a very nice call from the town manager of Ellisville, Indiana, and he expressed a lot of sentiment towards wanting to continue to work for those solutions. And I know at times I and others may use harsh rhetoric about this situation, but it's usually out of the frustration of if we don't do what we need to do. I appreciated that call very much. And one thing I passed to Mr. Farmer is that we don't know at any time who will be in these chairs, their chairs, or any chairs in this community. So whoever has got their eyes on particularly that shadow service or mobility or really anything around hunger, they've got to monitor these things moving forward because this is not, the need won't go away. And so I appreciated his call. I also appreciated his commitment to continue to work on partnering with the county. And I mentioned that we could do a better job in figuring out these things out in the process too. All right, any other comments or questions? Let's go to public comment in the room, and we welcome Mr. Imge, who has been dedicated in here since 5 to talk on this item.
And I'm talking at the right mic this time, so I apologize previously. Christopher Imge from the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. I mean, the shadow service for rural transit, it seems like this is a summer repeat. We've been through this. I keep talking about the need, and I think Chris Myers over at Rural Transit maximizes those dollars. We've heard from the ridership on that, on how necessary they are. I'm just getting those elderly individuals to their doctor's appointment. We see at the emergency care room how in flux and overcrowded they are. We had to take my father-in-law in there, and the wait is just so detrimental. So these are investments, but the service on Vernal Pike into the county, which it's been a long process just to get to this point, working with John Connell, who's done an amazing job at Bloomington Transit with some very reasonable proposals, is a game changer, off the charts. We've been working for this first to get the statute changed by the city just to allow this service, and then coming up with a service that the kind of county likes and that Bloomington Transit can do. I think this is a better particular route than the original express that was going on 3rd Street. I think the Vernal Pike is more county, can kind of go to all of the residents on that area and go to Park 48. This is the area with Ivy Tech, Cook Medical, Sintra, I'm probably Syngoda, all of these employers, and giving people a chance to sort of find that employment, find that educational opportunity at Ivy Tech. And I can't say enough about the work of this council, of the commissioners, and the city council last year, and just trying to make this possible. And I think this is a very wonderful moment, and I'm very proud to be a Monroe County citizen right now. And the chamber supports this use of ARPA fund, which has been amazing to see this, and it's going to be missed when that $92,000 is no longer with us. But thank you.
Right, thank you very much. Other comments from the public? If you have them, come forward or raise your hand on Teams. All right. Seeing no other comments, let's go to a roll call vote on these ARPA dollars.
Counselor Wiltz?
Yes.
Counselor Iverson?
Yes.
Counselor McKim?
Yes.
Counselor Deckard?
Yes.
Counselor Crossley?
Yes.
Motion passed unanimous.
All right, let's go to item B.
Council, excuse me. Council, I move to deappropriate, oh boy, let's do this again. And see. Council, I move to approve a deappropriation for the American Rescue Plan Act Fund 8950-0000, account line 36709, ARPA Rural Housing Repair, and the amount of $36,709 in the services category. No,
No.
okay. Because there isn't,
Okay, it should be 294,873.88. Sorry.
it's okay. It's a great, we're bloated tonight, so. Okay, let me restate that. Council, I move to approve a deappropriation from the American Rescue Plan Act, Fund 8950-0000, and account line 36709, ARPA Rural Housing Repair, in the amount of $294,873.88.
Second.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got a deappropriation here. Auditor, do you want to speak to this in any way?
Sure. So this is just the amount received from the Commissioner's Office that they're comfortable deappropriating at this time. Like I mentioned earlier, there will be more coming, and that will give us the total dollar amount requiring obligation then, and that will be coming to you shortly.
Okay. Thank you very much. Other comments, questions? All right, let's go to public comment. If you have any in the room, please come forward to the podium or raise your hand on Teams. Go to a roll call vote.
Counselor Deckard?
Yes.
Counselor McKim?
Yes.
Counselor Crossley?
Yes.
Counselor Iverson?
Yes.
Counselor Wiltz?
Yes.
Motion passed unanimous.
All right, let's go to item 17.
Council, I move to open for discussion and approve Resolution 2024-36, Monroe County Council 2025 meeting schedule.
Second.
And Ms. Shell, this is your moment, the meeting schedule discussion. Do you want to share something?
Yes, and just give me a couple seconds here.
These are important things. We don't want to shortchange it.
Okay, so this is option one for you to consider. Please note that there are no PAC meetings for October, November, and December, and that's to help try and keep the departments, trying to get them to get everything done before the budget sessions. What I'd like to note for your consideration is budget sessions on this option would begin on August the 26th and the 27th. So there would not be a PAC meeting on the 26th and 27th. Then budget sessions would go on till September 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 11th. We would then have council meetings on the 16th and the 23rd. With this option, we could have the public hearing along with the first reading by September the 30th. So that would help alleviate maybe a little bit of the being overrun in October with those meetings. You need to decide on both options if you want to have a meeting in November on November the 10th or the 11th or the 12th, due to the 11th being a holiday. So that's that option. Second option then the second option then shows the same, same scenario with regards to PAC meetings. This has all of the budget sessions in September. We would go ahead and have a meeting on August the 26th as normal, skip the meeting on September the 9th because we're going to be overloaded, and have then resume council meetings on the 23rd. This still allows for us to have the first, the public hearing and the first reading on September the 30th. You, again, you will need to decide on that November date. With your October on both options, you could eliminate the 28th because that would be budget adoption, and eliminate maybe an October 28th date on both options. So, this is clearly at your discretion. So.
All right, let's hear about your discretion. What do you think, counselors? What are your thoughts? Even folks who may be enjoying from the peanut gallery can weigh in on this. Counselor Crossley.
I was gonna say I like option one the best. With it starting early, I think it's worth a shot to see what, or with budget hearings starting in August, towards that last week of August, I think that is actually a decent way of going about doing it. I think it also will help alleviate some of the stress from our council office as well, because in addition to budget hearing, I would assume we would also still be doing a lot of Sophia Travis grant funding as well. So I think that gives us a lot of a room for buffer. And then in terms of, let's see here, like the final adoption of budget, just in case there is some big changes that we have to make, considering the discussions that we've had this evening, that would give us an opportunity to make those changes, and for council and auditor's office to help make those changes before the deadline is due. So I am more inclined of option one. And then, of course, we need to figure out November meeting. Wednesdays is usually our friends meeting in the city. And so we don't want to compete with them because we all want to tune in to see what they have to say. So I would recommend, because I love watching those meetings, and I really, really do. No shade. So I would recommend November 10th to be, because I totally forgot today is Monday. but feels like a Tuesday or Wednesday at this point. But yeah, again, option one, and with a date of November 10th.
I hear a strong expressed sentiment for option one. Any other counselors? Well, Kim, do you need a vote or are you that good enough?
Yes, I do need a vote because it is a resolution.
What is it? All right. Well, Counselor Iverson.
Does it matter to you whether to sandwich a meeting between a Sunday and a holiday, or to have the holiday and then the meeting?
Personally, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Down here, our soon depart is quite relieved. All right. Counselors, we've got a motion for option one offered before us. I'm not hearing an objection to it. I'll second that for consideration. Let's see if there's public comment on this because it's our last item of the night. If you are a member of the public, have a comment on our calendar, come forward to Nat U Hill or raise your hand on Teams. All right. Let's go to a roll call vote on option one.
Counselor McKim,
Pass.
Counselor Iverson,
Yes.
Counselor Wiltz,
Yes?
Counselor Deckard,
Yes.
Counselor Crossley.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1 pass.
All right. Let's move on to item 18. That's council comments. Counselors, any comments? Counselor Wiltz.
So I had two things. First, I wanted to explain my vote earlier, not for any reason except that I do a lot of processing out loud and don't often work things out completely. And so anyway, when I voted for the new position, even though I expressed a lot of reservations about it, I think that when I know I'm ultimately going to support it, which is why I talked about tabling it, I feel very strongly that we will be better with that position and with a whole Department of Employee Services. And if I know I'm going to support something, and I know that the work that needs to happen to get to where I'm comfortable with it is kind of more on us and me, then I don't feel like I need to waste the public or staff or really all of our time again in a public meeting, which is what it would ultimately have took. But that's on me, and that's just and you're welcome for that little insight into Kate's brain. But I felt like since I had babbled before, I wanted to let y'all know what I was thinking there. So we got to work on getting money for that position now that I just said all that. The other thing is, especially in this last week before the election, and given some recent communications that I've had with folks in county government, and I just want to remind folks to please treat each other with kindness and grace, and understand that we're all out here trying to do our best, and go forth and vote.
Other council comments? Counselor Crossley.
I was just going to say, I emailed the surveyor this morning or afternoon. Either way, I emailed him today to give a special thank you for the voter dashboard. As a fellow nerd who likes to nerd out, not just on CATS meetings or city meetings, but the dashboard has been really helpful just to look at the numbers and the projections. So that is some real good data that we continue to see there, and it's been refreshing. Even my 17-year-old has been pumped looking at it, and she can't even do any voting but because she's also a nerd like her mom. But that being said, I'm not gonna get up here and tell somebody who to vote for because, yeah. But we do have 8 more days left, and that being said, whatever you feel your heart is inclined to do, just make sure that you go vote, because a no vote is a vote. So make sure you have your say. All politics are local, and we got some real interesting races here, and we need to go exercise that right. Thank you.
Other comments or questions? Council, we've done a lot in this meeting, and I appreciate your patience through all that. I know sometimes these schedules are not always easy, but I appreciate you did the hard work that everybody kind of signed up to do. And although it's not always easy, I appreciate you getting through it. We'll get through it in the next meeting too and beyond. So with that, there's no other business for this body. Thankfully, we will be adjourned.